Good afternoon, seventh graders. How the heck is everybody? It's a beautiful day outside. It's not as hot as it's been all weekend, but here I am outside doing your lesson on how to write a fable. Yes, you are going to have to write a fable, and I'm actually looking forward to this. It's one of my favorite projects. It counts as a writing assignment, and what you're going to have to do is find yourself the creativity to write a fable and do it well. Um, I will probably give you some time to do it, maybe a week or two. I haven't decided yet, but some of you need to make sure you stay focused on your work, okay? Now, as still a Met fan, I wanted to show you my new haircut. I did that myself over the weekend. Kind of cools it down. And as we go forward here with another week of distance learning, I want to make sure that we are having um, required effective contact. So some of you people need to start showing up to the office hours, and you need to do that on a regular basis because if you're not, you're cheating yourselves. Because then you're like you didn't show up for the study hall, and well, that's your problem because I was there, as were six people. So I don't understand it. You need to get it together, okay? Because tests are getting harder, not easier. So how do you write a fable? Well, as we know in my last video, the characteristics of fable, every fable has a moral. So you would start out writing your fable by choosing the moral of the story. The moral is the center of a fable. It is helpful to begin outlining your fable by determining the moral first. The moral of a fable should relate to or reflect on a pertinent issue in society, a problem in society. I don't know what that can be. I mean, look at the problems we're having now in society. You can make fables that are new to today's society, like no toilet paper. Moral of the story is you should have stocked up. You think about some of the new things of writing a fable. You look at some of the old ones like the dove and the ant, or little friends may prove great friends, right? Or the eagle and the arrow. We often give our enemies the means for our own destruction. You had the fox and the crow. Flatterers are not friends. So think about all those meanings, those morals that could be inside of today's world. And that's what I want you to write your fable on. So, number one, choose your moral of your story and create your fable around that. Okay, secondly, you have to decide the problem. Yes, you've got the moral, but now what's the problem? The problem is what will drive the action of the fable, and it will be the primary source of the lesson that is learned in the fable. So, you have to decide it because the nature of a fable is to convey culturally relevant lessons and ideas. It's got to be something that everybody can relate to. Doesn't matter who you are, where you are, what your race is, what your economic value is. It doesn't matter. Think about that, okay? When you look at the tortoise and the hare, everybody knows that fable, right? You're introduced to this tortoise who's real slow, and the hare can fly, and well, what is that all about? Okay, so number three, decide what characters you will use in your fable. And remember, they all have to be animals. All right. Remember that fables are simple and concise. And when I say simple, this doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be 5 lines. Simple and short are two different things. Okay? Simple and concise. All right? So simple and concise, but doesn't mean short. Okay? In length. They shouldn't be complex. Your characters aren't these ginormous round characters who change throughout the whole story. They're usually flat, consistent characters who don't change. That's what makes them be able to teach a lesson because you usually have a protagonist and an antagonist, with the protagonist always winning, right? So keep that in mind as well. The fourth one, determine the character animal you're going to use and understand that each of these animals have character traits that are kind of built into that animal. Okay? So when you think about the animal, lion is he's strong and he has a lot of pride, right? The tortoise, the tortoise is slow but consistent. right? The wolf, right? Little Red Riding Hood. The wolf is dishonest and greedy. And when we think of like a lamb, it's shy and innocent, right? So find yourself an animal that you're able to create this fable with inside its domain, its character traits. Okay. So when you create the fable, choose wisely. So when we talk about settings of your fable, when you're choosing your setting of the fable, it has to coincide with where the animal's from. You're certainly not going to have a tortoise up in the mountains of Alaska, right? Because there's not many tortoise up there, are there? So make sure that your setting is uh, based on where this animal is from. Frogs live in a bog, pigs live in a sty, lions in the African savannah. You get the point. You're smart seventh graders, right? Make sure to make their settings indigenous to their life. Make the settings simple, right? You got to make it simple, but make sure that you make it detailed. Okay? Make sure that these relationships between these animals are, I don't know the word, I guess, make sure they lend themselves to their relationships. You're not going to have a tortoise, you know, having a problem with a beluga whale, right? Because a beluga whale is in the ocean. The tortoise is on the desert. Okay, all right. So make sure you do that. And again, I may say simple. That doesn't mean not detailed. Okay, you can make something very simple, but yet kind of create it in a detailed way. Make sure to follow Freytag's pyramid. And you're like, what is Freytag's pyramid? Who is this Freytag's guy? You all know who Freytag's pyramid was. We've went over this several times, and I know Mrs. Atkins did it too. Remember the pyramid? Watch my fingers. Boom, boom, boom. There and there. I'll give you a hint. Freytag's pyramid is the progression of a story. Remember exposition, inciting incident, rising action, climax at the top, falling action, resolution, denouement. Okay? Remember those. Your story, your fable has to follow Freytag's pyramid. Okay? If you don't know what those things are, hey, contact me and come to my office hours tomorrow morning at 9:30. I'd be happy to tell you what it is, or Thursday morning at 9:30, or shoot me an email and I'd be happy to tell you, or a private message on Google Classroom. I'll be happy to tell you. Okay, so make sure to follow Freytag's pyramid. Also, make sure to develop dialogue. You all know what dialogue is. Dialogue is conversation. You can't have a story, a fable, without dialogue. Okay, it don't create a dialogue of 5 lines. Get detailed. Get detailed. Come up with some really ingenious stuff. In the years past, I would have the kids write fables and we'd go down to our buddies and read them to them, and they loved them. But here we are. We're going to make a virtual fable book. Okay? So make sure to develop the dialogue between characters, which can create the relationship between these characters. I would also like you to create a picture or pictures as you write your fable on your document, in your Google Doc. You can paste pictures in there of what you think your animals should look like or their interaction, and cut and paste. Yes, I'm allowing you to cut and paste your pictures into your documents. So please make sure you have a picture. Okay. Each fable should include um, at least one, I would say, at least one picture. All right, make sure to correctly use grammar and punctuation in your writing, please. Okay, I don't get it. You're working on a word processor or Google Docs, and you should never have a spelling mistake, and you shouldn't have grammar mistakes. And remember that when you do dialogue, you have to have quote, apostrophes here and there. So make sure you do it right. All right. Make sure to develop the problem with a good, solid, and ample dialogue between the characters. You need to develop the issue. Okay. Make sure to develop the moral of the story and place that moral in italics. after the completion of the fable. It's the last line of the fable in italics. Lastly, do not steal the ideas of another fable and just change the animals, because I will know. All right? Now I'm going to give you, what is that, six quick ideas, six quick, make sure you follows. Okay? You have to have a title of your fable. Okay? It should be no more than 250 words. That's one page. The plot actions must lead to the moral. Moral must be given in the last line of the story. Keep it simple and specific. Don't go off on a tangent. Be original. I would really like to see it in our world today, if possible. Use appropriate language and use correct grammar and punctuation. I will have a rubric under the rubric part for you to look at to see how you're getting graded. So, anyway, that's your how to write a fable. I'll put some other work up this week, but that's going to be the major thing is how to write a fable. I just want to let you know that I'm thinking about you guys every day, and well, most days, and it's tough. It's tough. I know it's tough for you guys, and I think about you. I pray for you, and may you all be happy and safe, and God bless you. And we'll see you soon. Remember, office hours Monday, Thursday, 9:30 to 10:30. Peace.